one and all. It's the 2nd of August, Sunday, the 2nd of August, isn't it? Oh, that biscuit was the wrong thing to do just 2 minutes before going live. Yeah, isn't the year going by so quickly? August already. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining me this morning for the Sunday parade, as always. I've got a couple of things to go through in relation to the Facebook group because I think it's worth a mention. And then we're going to crack straight on with our Models haul cart diorama. We're going to concentrate. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to concentrate on the figures today. I pre-warn you, I'm not a great figure painter by any means, but I'm going to show you how I do it anyway, and let's hope it all works out because I am somewhat nervous about it. I'm sure it'll be fine. But anyway, I'm going to have a bit of cup of coffee. I hope you've got coffee. Have you got your breakfast? Have you had your breakfast? Are you waiting for your dinner? I know Lewis and Nat have got a large joint. A Sunday joint, that is, not a large... Yeah, okay. Anyway. Wow. So, yeah, let's get straight over to the chat and see what's going on, shall we? So, first of all, as I put up as a post, I'm sorry for the late post up for the link. Oh, it's just... It's becoming a thing that I'm getting to the point where I'm forgetting. So I'm going to have to organise myself a little bit more. But there you go. You're with us, so that's all that matters. And those that missed it and are catching up, I'm sorry. Maybe you were busy anyway. I know there's a lot going on today. Yeah, Formula One, if you're into that sort of thing. Anyway, so it's good morning from me. A good morning from Dexterous Crafter, which is Nat. Good morning from Lewis. Morning, guys. Junkworks is in the house saying good morning. Morning, Scott. Model making Dave's workshop. Hello, everyone. Hi, Dave. Hope you're well. Hope you're all ready for your stream that'll be after this. Schoolfish. I've got to get a button for that. He's in the house saying good morning, all. Kevin Stevens is in the house saying good morning. Another great show last night. Well done to the Creche crew. Yes, thank you very much. We were on live last night and just a jovial bit of laugh with a bit of model making and the odd moth thrown in. You'll understand that reference if you watched. If not, go and watch. Go back and watch it. Johnny Burton's in the house saying good morning, guys. Nice to see you there, Johnny. Kevin Stevens saying hi to Lewis and hi to all. You're all busy chatting amongst yourselves there, so I'm not going to read all those out. We've got a Facebook user, which is Ron Hetman. He's in the house saying good morning, James. Good morning, Ron. Hope you're well. For those using the Facebook for watching, just remember, if you give permissions to StreamYard, your name will come up when I show your comment. If you want to, if not, it's fine. Doesn't matter. I hope that's not going to be too annoying, but that's my compressor. I hope that's not coming across too loudly. Ian Dathwaite's in the house. So good morning, James. Good morning, Ian. I hope you're feeling better. I know you've not been well the last few weeks, so hope things are getting better. It's all good. So that's it. Lewis making some comment about it wasn't fun, but I don't know what that's in reference to. So there you go. That's everyone that's there. There's 12 people watching. Remember to like the video. He says, leaning forward and doing it himself because he hasn't done it yet. That helps the channel and the all the background stuff that goes on YouTube. So please do that. That helps us out as creators. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go straight over. Just checking my screen, making sure it's okay. We're going to go straight over to the mess in the Facebook group. If this thing wakes up, wake up, wake up, wake up! I tell you. So there you go. We're going to go straight over into the Facebook group, and we're straight into notifications that I don't want. Get out of town. Right. So, yep. There we go. Come on. There we go. Right. Okay. So Facebook group. As you can see, we've got a nice new header picture there of Johnny Burton's 148th B-17 that he built for a friend, and I believe this was. That the friend was linked to this particular aircraft. So well done, Johnny. Great model. It's taking quite a while to do, but you've taken a great deal of time and dedication to it, and it looks fantastic and well deserves the top notch, if you like, on the mess there. So why have I highlighted that today is because, as you may or may not be aware, we'll come to that in a second. Every month, every Tuesday, I will put a post up saying, pop a picture up of your work, of your best work for that week. And do you know, I can't find where am I looking? I should have had this all clued up, shouldn't I? Well, we won't do it that way. We'll do it a different way instead. That's fine. Yes. So the admins choose some pictures of what they think are good work or outstanding work for the month, and we make a header out of that in the mess. So yeah, so there you go. So I'm just going to flick by because I am so unorganized. Actually, do you know what? I don't want to do it that way. Oh my God, James, what are you like? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search the group, because it's all about the best build Tuesday, and my computer is going slow. Tuesday best build. We'll search for that in the group. And there we go. There's the post that went up on the 28th of July. Come on, wake up, computer. Lucky I got that extra half an hour, the way this takes. Right, so there you go. There's the post that goes up once a month, and it'll always say Happy Tuesday all. It's Best Build Tuesday. Post up the best completed works for the month and let the admins choose the banner. So I'm going to quickly go through all of the work because it's some outstanding work that's there. And here we go. So we've got Adam Challenger there with his Hobby Boss 148, KA 27 Helix. What can I say about that? What a beautiful model. Do you know, it's something it's a funky aircraft or helicopter, and something that I would actually like to get my hands on. But you've done a cracking job there, Adam, and I do like that. So that's that one. We go on to Luke Carswell with his Ming 135th British Army Husky TSV. Another outstanding build from Luke. He certainly has got his mojo at the moment. Absolutely beautiful. And then we got Mark Ewing. Fortunately, he has 2 to show this month. Well, it's not unfortunate. It's fortunate. This is a tank. I can't remember what one this is, Mark. I'm really sorry. But yeah, if you can, pop a little note in the comments just to tell us what we're looking at. But excellent work. Really, really nice. Do like the modulations there on the tank. I'm not a great armor builder by any means, but yeah. And this is his second offering, which is from Star Wars with that hairy person on top. I think, as Lewis knows him, Chewbacca, obviously. ATSV, is it? I think, or something like that. It's a walker from Star Wars, but very nice. Really like that. And again, you see these in dioramas by themselves quite often, and they are just outstanding to just be by themselves. You don't need to make much of a diorama with it, but that's a lovely build. Well done, Mark. Johnny. B17G, El Lobo. As you can see, outstanding work. Really, really outstanding. Well done, Johnny. And I know that you presented that to the person, your friend, and he's over the moon with it. So, yeah, outstanding. Andy Gregg with his, now this is it Cromwell? I think it's a Cromwell. I'm not sure. But that's nice. Some nice work done on that. I love the old mud effect you've got going on the wheels there. Beautiful. Well done, Andy. The chat's going ballistic, so I will get to it at some point. Oh my God, I just realised it is a Cromwell and it's a 176th. Oh, do you know, that is phenomenal. Well done. I didn't realise it was, I thought it was 135th. I'm glad I didn't say that, but wow, excellent work. Anyway, over to Brad, and Brad's got his 135th Russian Matilda, converted to Australian late war tank, using a Firestorm Models conversion and the crew from Star decals. Wow, yeah, very nice. Very nice. I haven't actually looked at these properly. when it comes to the voting, I don't actually get involved with the voting until there is a tie or something similar. So yeah, this is all new looking at for me. Look at that, that's nice as well. Well done, Scott. That's an Airfix 172nd P51D. Detroit, is that Miss Detroit? Lovely, beautiful work. Looks very, very fine. And again, another small scale model. Excellent work. Over to Rob. And Rob's built himself a rust in progress on his checkpoint. Nice. I like that. Was that a kit, Rob? Or was that a bit of scratch building? I like the corrugated iron. That looks lovely. I've got a little... I've got something coming up very shortly in relation to corrugated iron. I'm going to do a review of a product. But we'll get to that shortly. Ron saying there he's still busy with his PBY5 photos to follow soon. No, that's okay, Ron, no problem. Thanks for telling us what you're up to. We got John Ludgreen with his Trumpeter 350th USS Hancock. Wow. That's mighty fine as well, isn't it? I take my hat off to anyone that does small scale stuff. Honestly, it's I find it so difficult sometimes. Anyway, over to Gavin with his Tamiya 135th 8 rad armored car. Another fine piece from Gav. Really nice. I like the modulation in colours on that. That's really, you put a lot of effort into that. That looks really, really nice. Well done. Nice bit of weathering on there as well. So we're over to Michael Cohen Campbell. Just finished this. Might not be his best, but it is one I've kept on the shelf. A Mini Arts crappy D7 Dozer and a Dragon's Battle of the Bulge Tiger 2 with assorted figures at 135th. Nice diorama idea, and yeah, nice work. Stick some more pictures up of that, Michael, because I'd love to look at the whole diorama. Very nice. Tony Thomas. I don't know what that is. I'm really sorry. It's obviously a tracked vehicle of some description, but really, really nice. I like it. It looks like a nice item. Something different. And I love all the stowage as well. So was that all one kit, or was there some extras in that, Tony? Let us know. Put some more posts up of the build, because I guess you haven't quite finished it, or maybe you have. Yeah, let us know. Scott Cruz on a naked build. That's, yeah, quite surreal, isn't it? I've not seen anything like that before. Nice and very different, Scott. Thank you. You popping that up. And then we've got our last one, which is Dave Eves. I'm going to pronounce that wrong, so Dave, sorry, I do apologise. This is his MRC 1/9 scale Chief Guard for Stargate. And if you remember, I did mention this before, actually. The water effect he created on the Stargate was astonishing. Really, really nice to see that done. Nice piece of work. So why have I gone through that this week? The reason is that obviously I want to promote to you the fact that the group is for everybody. There are no stars within the group. We are all just modelers, helping each other out and inspiring each other with our work. So once a month, I like to use that opportunity to create a banner. And our admin, Johnny Burton, has managed to get the top spot this month, but it's well deserved. So please look out for the posts. And as always, as I said to you, the posts are generated in advance. So I have a rough idea schedule of what's going on within the mess each month. And also if I've got work commitments, which unfortunately I'm going back to work, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, I'm going back to work this week. So I want to make sure that we're up to date with all of that. One last thing to mention, obviously, as well, is remember that we have our diorama group build. That's still ongoing at the moment. Runs until the 30th of November, and it's any subject as long as it's within a diorama. So please make sure you do that. And then over on the Creche, we have also our first VJ Day group build, which is any subject or anything to do with the Pacific Theatre of World War II. So yeah, please make sure you get involved with all of those and post your pictures up so we can see what's going on. So there we go. Just coming up to 11:15. 16 people watching. Thank you very much for being with me. And I'm going to try my best and find where on earth I was in the chat, which is going to be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to have a little swig. Nat says, "Can I have a couple like James? A couple like James, please." I think that must be Lewis asking Nat. Yeah, good luck with that. So there you go. Ron just saying there that James figure painting is quite easy, mate. It can be. It's just the technique sometimes gets away from me, and I get a little frustrated with it. So anyway, we'll see how we get on in a minute. Kevin's just saying, hope Lewis isn't working too hard in that kitchen today, cooking another beautiful dinner for him. I think that's cooking another dinner for him now. Yes, hope you're not working too hard. They're all talking amongst yourselves. So you've got Plastic Monkey in the house saying good morning all. Morning, Plastic. Hope you're well. Gary Hicks is in the house saying hi all. Indeed, hi all. Hope you're well, Gary. And Lewis with his outstanding Star Wars knowledge, an AST, if memory serves him lock. Yes, with the hairy monster on top. You're quite right. Well done, Lewis. Not a lot gets past Lewis, you know. He's a real big sci-fi fan. No, he's not got a lot of knowledge in that area, and in fairness, neither have I. So I'm not mocking you. I'm really not. So yeah, that's up to date with the chat. So let's crack on. Let's not waste any time or worry about anything we can or can't do. So we'll head straight over to the bench. So what we're doing is we are concentrating on our figures. Now, I got a funky little app that should hopefully keep everything in focus if I can get it right. Oh, I know why that's not working. Yes, silly sausage. Right, there we go. I should have done this before I started, but I'm sorry. There we go. It's better. Yeah, it's better, isn't it? So there's our figures. That's what we're going to be doing. I'm not going to be using the little base that comes with it, which is this little resin base here. No massive reason. It's just that I should have fitted that into the base when I was planning, really, and I haven't. So we're not going to use that. But the two figures we will. So what have we done? We have got our two figures, which are here, all prepared and primed, and we've got our two faces or heads as well. We're not going to concentrate on the faces today. What we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on this fella here, and we're going to concentrate on doing his uniform, etc. Now, what I plan to do, as I said, I'm not a great figure painter. I am a little concerned that I don't want to make myself look silly, but also I don't want to try and pretend that I'm teaching to do something. I can't do that well myself. So we'll see how we get on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of the heads at some point, and I'm going to try and the one with that. I'll show you rather than talk to you. So we've got two here, and we've got one with a helmet and one without. So the one with the helmet I'm going to paint off screen and see if I can be enough with the technique in which I use to do that. And if I can, then what we'll do is we'll do the one without the helmet live next week. So we'll do a bit of face painting next week. And that then will be our last week on this diorama. I'm going to do a bit more of it off screen and get it all finished up because there are other things in which I want to go on to. Your suggestions of what you might like to see are always welcome. So you can either send me a personal message or make a comment in the videos over the coming couple of weeks. Once I will do it, but we'll see. I'd like to do a bit of card modeling as one of the guys in the mess has been doing. I've forgotten his name. Oh gosh, forgotten his name. Never mind. Yes, he's inspired me. So I've invested in some card, and I'm hopefully going to give that a little crack and show you how to do that. So making buildings out of card is one of the things which I'd like to do. Okay, so what we got here? Over to this side, I've got a wet palette all set up, ready to go. He says, and that's that there. It's obviously mostly off the side because I don't want it to affect the white balance. We've got a little bit of kitchen towel there underneath for us, and we've got a little bit of water and cleaning stuff going on there as well. Okay, so where are we going to start? We're going to start with the main uniform. So as you may or may not know, with all of my models, the paint of choice that I use is model color. And today we're going to start with model color 830, which is German Field Grey, World War II. We're going to put that on our, just a little blob of that on our palette. But I'm also going to use a darker green as well. And I have to give them a shake, but they've been sat on the side for a while, so I'm a little worried. The next one is 979 German Camo Dark Green. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the palette. Like so. Okay, so we are going to have a go. Let's go. Let's see how we do. And I don't think that's glued in there very well, actually, as we start. So that makes it for a bit more fun. So, a bit of a brush. The way I like to do it is I like to start with the darker colours first. And we're going to go into our creases with the darker colour. And what we're going to do is we're going to build up the colours bit by bit. To speed up the process today, what I've done as well is I've got the airbrush and a clean airbrush ready, because we're going to use the airbrush to dry our subject as we go. So I'm just going to go into the creases with the darker colour. It doesn't matter if I go over the top of the creases, it's just to give us a nice little base. So I've primed this with Ultimate primer, black primer. I can never say the word, so yes, you know what I mean. Acrylic primer. Stearins. Oh yeah, why is it so difficult to say? So yeah, anyway, so we're going in all the creases on our subject with our dark color. Now what you can do when you do this is you can use just one color. So the main color of the uniform jacket, for example, and add a little bit of black or a little bit of white or deck tan to your paint. So you've got areas on your palette with the different colors. But I'm actually going a bit bold and using a completely different color, which may or may not be the right thing to do, but that is what I'm going to do. So you can see I'm just using the paintbrush to get in to the areas that I want, and I am going to literally stop when I get to the part where I've done all the bits I want to this particular jacket on the back, because then what we can do is we can blend in the different areas. Don't put brush in mouth, James. Okay, so as you can see, we've got some of our base color in there, or a darker shade of our jacket color there. All right, so then what we're going to do is we've cleaned the brush, and we're going to go to our next color, which is the German Field Grey, which is the color of the uniform. And then we're going to actually, let me change that. So a little bit lighter in our application, because obviously what we don't want to do is we don't want to put our paint, it's quite wet, isn't it, like this. You don't want to flood what you've just done. And what you need to do is you need to try, let's take that off because I've just mucked that right up. See, this is why I wasn't overly keen at doing this. It's like everything I find with model making, is when you're in the groove to do a certain part of the job or job that you want to do, it goes really well. But if you're not, or you're a little bit unconfident, a little bit not confident, oh yeah, now I can't speak. So we're going over this a little bit lighter, and we're going to get our paint into the other areas, the opposite areas to where we've just painted. We'll try to. And the good thing about this is the way I do it. What I find is I will make mistakes. I will go over. I will do exactly what I'm telling you not to do. You can go over some of the paint that I've already put in, but you can always go back and retouch it and replay with it. And the reason I've started on the back of the jacket here is because, or figure, is because in the end of the scheme of things, you won't actually see this because he'll be up against the other soldier. So hopefully this is coming out. I am trying a new way with the camera to try and make sure you can see what I'm doing. Because obviously I have had some comments that you can't see what I'm doing. So hopefully it's working. Let me know if it's not. And if it doesn't work as well as I want it to, then I can think of another way next week. Because it's difficult to change stuff on a stream unless you've got lots of things backed up. So sorry about the compressor. I might turn it off in a minute actually, because that's going to annoy me. Now what you're looking for is the contrast on the figure. And something to watch out for when you do this is it will sometimes look, because I'm looking at it really closely. I knew that was going to come off, rotter. Because I'm looking at it very closely, it'll look a bit odd. But you want that. Now that sounds a bit weird, right? It sounds like I'm talking gibberish. I'm not. That contrast up close will look completely wrong. But from a distance, your subject will merge the colours. Your eyes will merge the colours together, and you won't see the difference from a distance. Up close you will, because your eyes will pick that out quite easily. But from a distance, your brain merges the image and makes an assumption as to what it is actually looking at. Seems a bit weird, but that is what the body does. So we're just putting this colour on. What I think I'll do is I'll go right across the lapels there. Now, obviously, you could, depending on what works best for you, you can go attack this with the lighter colours first or the darker colours first. I tend to find the lighter colours first are the better option for me, because you can go over the top of it with the lighter colour, and as you'll see in a minute, we're going to highlight even more in a minute. So okay, so let me know, can you see what I'm doing properly? Is it working okay for you? I hope so. Take glasses off because you can see what you're doing then. Right, so as you can see there, just about. Let me try and zoom in a little bit more for you. Is that working? Oh, put subject there. Oh, there we go. That's better, isn't it? He says. Do your camera settings before you start, James. It's always a good idea. There we go. Okay, so as you can see there, there's two tones on our figure's back. Hopefully you can see that properly. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to highlight the areas that are raised. Now to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, you can use white, but I tend to always use deck tan, which is an off-white, so like a very light grey. And what I will do is I will get a brush and I shall get some of the paint we've used and put that in a separate area. And then I'll get a little bit of the deck tan and add it to it. Right, that's a little bit too much, James, so let's back that off a bit. So then what we're going to do with a finer brush, we're going to pick up our lighter colour, and we're now going to very carefully try our best at picking out, highlighting our creases in our uniform. And literally all you're doing is using the mold of your subject and gently going over the raised areas. And what we hopefully will achieve is a 3D effect. On our uniform. Very difficult to concentrate, talk at the same time when you've got your tongue hanging out, because you're concentrating so much. So if you give me a second, I'm just going to finish doing this little bit, and then what I will do is I will try and bring the camera in so you can see exactly what I've meant, what I've said, what I'm doing, etc., etc. And like I say, I purposely have started on the back because this is a bit you're not going to really see. So if I muck it up, it isn't a stressful problem for me. Bah. Right. Hopefully, we bring it a little bit closer. And we'll have a little fiddle with the focus. There we go. Okay, so there you can see we've got our lighter lines of our uniform with a mixture of two different colors. Now, as I said to you, that looks a little bit weird, right? It looks like I'm just having a special moment. But from a distance, those colors will combine and you won't realize it won't look as bad. It's the worst way. It's the only way I can say it. One thing I will do is I'll let this paint dry, and then I will go over it with a very light wash, if you like, of the uniform colour, which will hopefully bring everything back in together. So there you go. That's what we're going to do this morning. Let's have a quick look at the chat, make sure I'm up to date with it all. Lewis Williamson is saying hi all. Hi, Lewis. Quanaman is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, mate. How you doing? Jacqueline Stevens just saying, morning, I made it. Just been working on the never-ending task of deadheading and weeding. Now time to sit down and watch the live streams indeed. Yeah, it's a long, laborious job, but well worth it when you get it done. Steve from Totally Scale Models is in the house saying hello. Sorry I'm late. Was watching Marvel's Daredevil. Oh, good for you. And quite a man saying, have you ever seen Bill Heron's work? No, is the honest answer. Bill Heron actually is a name that's popped up recently for me in a different way. So I will be having a little nosy at some of his work. I'll focus back on for now. Because there's some techniques and stuff that I've heard about that are really good that I want to check out. Sorry, thirsty work. I've had to shut the windows because my neighbours decided to do some building today. He's obviously not a fan of the show, bless him. He should know that I'm live. I'm very important, don't you know? Anyway, so yeah, let's do the other side of the jacket. And this is going to be very, very light touching work. We're just showing making an accent, if you like, of our raised creases in the uniform of our wounded soldier. So what I'm hopefully going to do in a minute is I will make that wash of the uniform and put it over the top of this, and you'll all go, oh, right, yeah, I see what we're doing. Instead of all thinking, I think James has lost the plot today. He's gone a bit funny. Now, one thing to point out to you, that as you will notice, when I started, this was on a cork base, which made it easier to handle without getting your dirty, greasy mitts over everything. But it's come off because I didn't glue it properly, so that's my fault. But yeah, if you've got the opportunity to pick yourself up some corks, put a little hole in it and a pin, dress pin, something like that, you can make yourself some very useful figure holders for when you're painting your figures. And like I say, please don't think that I am pretending to be a figure master, because I am not. It is one of those things in which I am slowly learning the techniques. And figures are coming out a bit better, but it does take time. And like I say, you do need to be in the zone. Go. Sorry, I keep making that noise because I keep putting a paintbrush in my mouth. And yeah, it's not very nice. Quanaman's just saying there that Ben Heron has the box out. I don't know if you can still... oh, sorry, I think that might be books out. If this, he's not sure if they've been published or not. No. Well, we'll be able to find them. Ron just saying there, James, you're going to use the dark... Are you going to use dark wash? No. No, the idea is I'm not going to use a dark wash on this. So it's one way in which you can do your figures is do a base paint of the colour of the uniform and then put a dark wash over it, and then obviously take off the wash over the erased areas, which will give you your creases. But this is a different way of doing things that I've been playing with for a while. So no wash. Conor Man just saying, try to use the edge of your brush on you doing the highlights, not the tip. Yes, he's quite right. This is a fine brush, whereas this is a little bit of a fatter brush. So yeah, it would make it easier if I did that. You're quite right. It gives you a little bit more control as well. Right, so we've got to the point now, I think, that we're gonna... One second. Trusty airbrush. Well, I've got it on, so I might as well use it. All I'm using this for is just the air to make sure the paint's dry. Not something I'd normally do as I'm painting, if I'm honest. But as we are live, I have to do that. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the main colour paint again, separate from the rest on our palette. I know you can't see the palette in the picture there. That's on purpose because it will white out on my setup, unfortunately. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it, so it's more of a wash sort, a very thin application of the paint. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the model with said wash, which hopefully will tie it all in together. So Marcus White is actually the person who's responsible for me using this method, and his words were to me, don't be afraid, it will look weird up close, but from a distance it will look great. So I want to turn that down a little bit, to be honest. A little bit too violent. Turn down a bit. Right. So I'll just leave that on there for the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply another little wash of the base colour again over everything. I need some background music, don't we, really? Right. So all I'm doing is I'm not putting any paint or anything on with this airbrush. All I literally am doing is using the air to dry the paint because I'm showing you what I'm doing. That's all. So don't get overly excited. It's an expensive airbrush to just blow air on it on a model, really, but there you go. Oh, don't put it down on the needle, we don't want to break it. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see if I have been clever enough to pull this off. Not sure I have, but there we go. How's that coming out? Is that in focus? Not really, is it? All that is, though. Camera. Struggling I am. There we go. So as you can see, on this side is the side we've put a little wash over the top of the three colours we've got on there. The primer, the dark grey. Sorry, no, not the primer. We've got our dark green, our uniform green, and a lighter colour of our uniform. And then we've put a wash over of the German grey, which is the uniform colour. So let me do the other side and bring it all in together. Like I say, again, a nice thin wash. I bet that's well out of focus, isn't it? Oh, goodness sake. Come on, James. What I need is like a booth with colleagues in who do all the extra bits and pieces you need to do to make sure it all works properly. Bit like yesterday with the Creche and pre-going live. Lewis had his makeup artist come in and give him a little buff up so he was all nice and pretty. Nice powdered patch up. I'm going to mention it again, but I'm sure you already know, but Lewis is a hero. He shaved his head for Models for Heroes and he's raised £211, I believe. So well done, Lewis. As Malcolm said on the Models for Heroes stream this morning, that's going to go towards buying some tools and stuff for our colleagues and veterans to use in their modelling sessions, and that is a valuable, very valuable thing to have done. So again, kudos to you, well done you. What I will do is I will go over, I'm just going to go over this here a little bit for our cuffs. Yeah, you know what I mean. Not really, James, you're not making sense. You're right, I'm not. So just to tie all those different colours we put on together, a nice thin wash on our collar of our uniform. And we should, if we don't drop everything, we should have managed to have achieved the first part of our figure. Bear with me a second. I have the carpet monster has stolen my brush, which is great because that means I've got cat hairs all over it now. Maybe that's what I should do, make my brushes out of cat hair. So let's hope the autofocus plays ball, and it's not going to, is it? No. So we'll take it off autofocus and we will bring that in. So there you go. There is the back of our soldier's uniform. There you go. I think that's worked okay. So what we'll do is we're just going to follow that same method. On the front, on the arms and on the back. But before I crack on, I'm just going to catch up with any other comments. Steve is telling me bob on, James. I assume it's cracking on. It's going on all right, and you're all fine. There's 21 people watching, and it's only 10 to 12. Wow. I may have missed somebody joining. Is Scaly Models in the chat? I can't see him. I might be going mad. Jacqueline Stevens just saying hi, Dad, which would be Mike, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, cool. So let's crack on with the next bit. Let me know how you're doing with the viewing, etc. Tell me if you're struggling or whether it's working okay for you. So we're going to go back to the dark color that we were using, And we're going to go into the creases now of the arms. Yeah, so one of the people that have helped me immensely over the last year is Marcus White, a really good model maker, a great figure painter. And I've picked his brains endlessly in how he achieves the effects he achieves with his models. So thank you very much, Marcus. You certainly have inspired me with your work to give these things a go, because I was very much and I sound unkind, I don't mean it that way at all, but you know, Ron said earlier about the dark wash method. It does work, it does give you a good effect. I gotta be honest, I do like it, but it's an easy effect, if that's an easy option effect, if that makes sense. And that's why I said I didn't want to sound like I was being rude. I really am not, because it just cuts all this out. But the effect you get by taking a little bit of time and doing this, I think, just makes it so much better. I'm getting a little bit carried away and really throwing paint in. Well, too much paint on this, but hey, we can go over it. This is the good thing about this technique, is that you can put paint on and you can take it off by adding a lighter color somewhere, or missing a bit completely, and you pick it up within the wash, so it's all good. And I'll be honest, the other thing with this as well is that I am using just the basic Humbrol paintbrush. It's nothing special. I do have good quality brushes in my drawer, but if I'm honest, I'm scared to use them. How sad is that? Because I don't want to ruin them, but I must get them out and start using them properly. It's the cleaning up that's the thing for me, really. I'm not great at cleaning my brushes as I go along. I must improve. And the good thing about having a wet palette, you can buy them. There are quite a few around now. They're a must-have tool, if I'm honest, I think. Or you can make one. Making one's really, really easy. Just a plastic container that has the facility or ability to be airtight. A little bit of greaseproof paper that you sit on top of a sponge, and that gives you a wet palette. Obviously, the greaseproof paper, you put the paint on and you'll have to replace that fairly regularly, but if you're doing something like this, it will keep the paint going quite a while. But yeah, all good. So yeah, Scaly Models is in the house. I didn't see him arrive. I do apologize. Hi Mike, how you doing? He's saying good morning, everybody. And everybody's saying good morning to him as well. So nice to have you here. He says, I'm here while I'm painting. Yeah, that's good. Thomas Childs is saying a checkerboard helps with the focus. Yeah, I know, Thomas. My one thing I forgot to do today was I was going to change the background, the mat. The mat was still going to be there, but I was going to put something that was more of a solid color, and that would not keep interfering with the focus. But I forgot because I was on the stream with Malcolm, and Scaly Models just saying that parchment paper is better than in the wet palette. Yeah, you're right. It was parchment paper that you use. I did say something else, didn't I? So forget that. Parchment paper is what you want. So yes, I bought a wet palette that comes with parchment paper, etc. And it's a great tool. It's a really good thing to have. So right, so we did that. We're going to go in with our uniform color for our other areas. We've done the little creases, etc. And then we're going to go over the rest of the uniform with our normal base color, or uniform color, should I say. So like I say, I'm not trying to pretend that I am the bee's knees. I literally am just showing you how I am painting these figures, and I hope the aim is I'm hoping that it will inspire you sufficiently enough to give it a go and not be scared of figures, because figures can be scary. There are people that struggle a lot with figures and avoid them like the plague. After today, I might be one of them. No, I'm joking. I was going to say after today, I might be one of those people, but I won't. I enjoy doing the figures, and I actually quite enjoy the process now of doing the figures, because like it gives you oh, don't do that. It's a bit weird, the fact that you're painting away and you're thinking, well, this just looks very abstract, which it does, but it gives, when it comes together, it does give you a sense of satisfaction. That's without doubt. My biggest fear of doing this, to be honest, is the thought of you sitting there watching, going, oh my God, what is he doing? So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you're finding this useful, because I certainly wouldn't want to make myself look like a wally. I'm sure I'm not. But if I am, I am. It doesn't matter. Like I say, this is how I do it, so I'm not sure every other model will do this. The modeler will do the same way. So if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. We all have our different ways of doing things. I'm really annoyed this conflict's caught base. It's just so frustrating. But anyway. So obviously today is Sunday, and our usual Sunday thing is, if you didn't know, Fester's workshop is after me at 12:30. And then we have got all our other guys and girls. We've got the in-between show, which I think is on today. And I will make sure I go through all of those before the end of my stream today. I don't know if Fox is feeling better. I know last week he wasn't feeling very well. Poor toothy or something, I believe. So if anyone knows any different, let me know in the chat. That's good. Okay, so we've got Quanaman saying Glenn Borotti is a person who paint artist oils. You should look him up. He's not well known. He's had a couple of articles in Scaly Models and the US. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll look him up, see what that's about. Lewis is just saying Nat's figure's scary. Oh, that's harsh. You're just trying to get her back. Nothing wrong with her figure at all. It's lovely. Connorman is saying you're sharing what you have learned and it doesn't hurt anybody and maybe help them with their models. Yeah, that is completely and utterly the thing at the end of the day. I'm sharing what I do. I'm not... someone actually criticised me the other day for being not being modest enough, which I suppose is a fair thing. I'm not. I generally will knock myself down. To do with my childhood and my early informative years, but that's the mechanism in which I use. So yeah, right. So we're now going to go over the highlighted the raised areas with the lighter color to bring out the difference in the colors of our uniform. It's ever so hot in there as well, which isn't helping. So funny enough, the paint is drying quite quickly. Which won't help. Doesn't help my confidence and doesn't help me trying to do this either on a live stream. What was I thinking? But yeah, hopefully it's helping you. If nothing else, if I'm honest, the one thing that would be good company was that it would help with their fears of doing figures, and maybe even make them a little bit more willing to give them a go, because they're not that hard. They're really not. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of figures in which I'm not happy with. And there's a couple that I've managed to do really well, and then I'm not quite sure how I managed it, if you know what I mean. You know, when you get that moment of brilliance, if you like, and you go, oh, look at that, oh, that's brilliant, I've really done a good job there, and then you go to repeat that process, and yeah, it's not working. So we're literally just going to go over the raised areas with our lighter paint. So I've got a question for you all. This might seem a little bit off the wall, but I'm intrigued as to what you guys think. As a channel, I concentrate a lot on model shows. And obviously this year, with all that's been going on, we've missed out on an awful lot of shows. A lot of them been cancelled. But we are coming to a point now where things are starting to open up in the UK. So we potentially are getting to a point where we may have a few model shows to go to. So why have I brought this up, you ask? Well, I'm intrigued to know as to if, for example, let's pick Telford. Obviously, the IPMS do their annual show, big show in Telford. And that is at the beginning of November every year. So if that goes ahead with social distancing involved, because obviously that's still very much a must at the moment, would you go or would you avoid it? Really interested to hear your views on it. So that is a question for you. Where do you guys stand on that? So I'm just going to make up a little bit more of the pale paint because I am struggling now to get what I need. Just off camera here. And again, I'm going to start going over the raised areas of the arm. So yeah, let me know your views. It'd be interesting to know. Can you wait till next year for a model show, or do you really want one now? I do have an opinion on it, obviously, but I'm not going to share that right now. I just want to see what everyone's saying, first of all. And then I'll share my opinion. Because there is a second question on which I want to ask as well, which will come afterwards, obviously. So yeah, there's no background music, obviously because we're on YouTube and I don't want any strikes on my account, because that just is a bit of a pain. Although I really must think about investing in something, because it is ever so quiet. James has got his tongue out. He's concentrating. I'm a man, so I can't do two things at once. I bet Nat can stick a tongue out and hum a song at the same time. How about you, Jacqueline? Can you? The masters of multitasking are in the house. So let's have a quick look at where we're at, and then I'm going to go over to the chat. Take all white focus off, and hopefully, by the magic of grayscale, so close, but yet so far. Still not good enough. There you go. Right, so that's the back that we've done already. And if I just pull that around, you can see the arm that I've been doing and the highlights within the uniform. Not necessarily got every single one. I think I've got most of them, but not every single one. So let's pull that together in a minute. Let's go back to autofocus, otherwise you'll all be going, oh my God, my eyes, my eyes. So let's go over to the chat quickly. Oh. So kind of managed to point out something interesting there. Don't forget, the hardest modeling skill is wooden ships. Second is miniature painting. I wouldn't disagree with that. Definitely. Lewis is just saying, I would go to Telford as it is only show I'm allowed to go to. Oh. Steve saying, things are starting to shut down again. I don't think Telford will go ahead this year. Me personally, I don't think I'll be going unless things change drastically. Thomas Charles is saying, avoid. I don't want the next bit of plastic I'm looking at to be a ventilator. Good point. Well said. In Darthwaite is saying, my son is printing me a resin Tarzan figure. Probably not the best figure to start with because of the flesh tones, but as I live in Greystone, he said it had to be a Tarzan figure. Yeah, to be honest with you, there isn't a particular figure that's the best one to start with, but you've got the color of the skin, flesh tones, and all that sort of thing, which would be good. But then you've also got his is it loincloth? I'm not sure. Yes, what he wears around his nether regions. That could be interesting as well. So yeah, good luck with that, Ian. I look forward to seeing how you get on with that. Lewis said he wants one. I'm not sure if that's the target figure or a loincloth. He said, do you want to borrow Connor to read the chat? No, I'm okay at the moment, but thank you. I will no doubt borrow him maybe next week. Yeah. Conor saying, don't forget this is a personal choice. I like seeing the models, but I don't need to see you catch something. What can be harmful to you? But if you feel it's safe, then go for it. If you don't. Ian Dathwaite saying, not sure about Telford this year post chemo. We'll decide last minute. I'll take my consultation. Thomas Charles says, I stick my tongue out and hum. Stick the tongue out is easy. As for hum, I do need a wash. Yeah, good one, like that. Cohen Stevens saying, Telford at the moment is the highest top 15 areas of possible lockdown again. I don't think it's fair for the traders. Well, it's good to have some views there. There is a reason I'm asking. What do you think about a virtual show? Why have I brought that up? There's lots of reasons behind it, but one of the things is it's something that's been kicking around over the last several weeks about virtual shows and stuff. I think the possibility of them is a good idea, and I think it would be great to have one. So let me know what you think to that too. Personally, for Telford, I'm not sure it will go ahead, and if it does, which the guys who want to put it together have said they want to try and put something on, but it'd be a very, very, very different show to what it normally is. I'm concerned for anyone that attends anything like that at the moment, whether that's the right thing to do. No one should put themselves at risk. It's plastic at the end of the day. Life's much more important. So, yeah, I miss the shows. Shows are a big part of my life, and I do love them, and I love doing the reports for everybody too. But if Telford was to go ahead, I'm pretty much over 90% certain I won't go because of the current situation, which is a shame because I want to support the IPMS. They do a fantastic job year in, year out, and I don't want to see them suffer, but the same degree, I want to be there the following years after too, and everyone else that I value that goes there. So there you go. Jacqueline Stevens says this was going to be our first in going, but I don't think it will be able to happen, as we would need to book up Travelodge and hopefully be there next year. To be honest, for me personally, Telford is a whole weekend. It's one show in which I will go to for the whole weekend. If you want to book any lodgings, you need to book up well in advance because they do go very quickly. My other advice was don't look right at the venue, look a little bit away from it, and just take into account you're going to travel, because that you will save a bit of money that way. So that's good. Jacqueline also says that it would be nice to be able to see our YouTube, Facebook friends in the flesh. Yes. Yeah, that's very true. It is all part of that particular venue, that particular show, is the social side of things. But like I say, I'm very worried by Oi. There does seem to be a bit more going on with it. I don't think we've finished having our lives turned upside down, unfortunately. But I've been speaking to my colleagues and friends over in Holland these last couple of days, and I've noticed that it's all gone bang big time over there for them. So I'm quite concerned what that will mean for them. And obviously we're all aware that it's going to come back. It's not going to go anywhere until we've got the remedies that we need in place for life to get back to 100% normal, which is a shame, but you know, it is what it is. And we need to all be patient and thoughtful. Yeah, Holland is very scary, actually. Very, very scary. And it's not just Holland, there's other places as well. Obviously our own little areas that we've got to lock down again in England. So they're not all alone, but they've certainly got a lot of issues going on right now. And some of my friends from the modelling world have been personally affected by the virus. And it's not good. It's really not good. So keep safe out there. Like I said, I'm going back to work this week and looking forward to it. But I still will be taking the precautions required and necessary. Not just because they're the legal thing you've got to do, but because I am unfortunately in amongst the people that have been shielding for all these weeks. And very grateful to my employer for the support they've given me. They've been great, if I'm honest. No complaints there, fortunately. But I certainly don't want to waste that investment that they've put in me either. So if anyone's from work watching, thank you very much for everything you've done. I don't think you will be. I'm sure my boss won't be watching. There you go. So in my waffle, let's give this a little bit of airbrushing to dry off our paint. So again, this will look a little bit weird because obviously you've not got the other detail highlighted either. So it'll look a lot more stark than it actually is. But again, it's giving you an idea of how I achieve what I achieve. However good or bad that may be. I'm a bit wary of the time. We are getting to that point now. We will be wrapping up for today. Because we've got our colleagues that are going to be on from the Fester's workshop. Cohen and Dave are waiting in the wings. So on and so forth. I really want to show you how this is, but I am not happy with the way that's finished. Why are you doing that? That's better. That's much better. Okay. So obviously I'm going to crack on with these figures today, hopefully, and finish them up. Because next week I want to do the faces if I can, if I feel brave enough. So there we go. What I'm going to do is show you where we're at. Turn our autofocus off. Show the effect in which we've got or managed to achieve so far. There we go. And just turn it around the other way. Obviously, I've not done the front of his jacket. I've just concentrated on his arms. So, like I say, it does look a little bit weird when you look at it, but go over that wash, especially on this back part of his sleeves there. That's not quite how I want it. So there'll be a little bit more wash going on that, but that gives you an idea of how I do clothes. So there you go. And we'll just come out of that and we'll go to that. So there you go, guys. A little bit of figure painting with me today. Thank you very much for watching. There's 23 people watching right now. Make sure you do the thumbs up, etc., etc. I'm going to go over the chat in a second. So bear with me a second. So yeah, it's the process I use. Just to recap very carefully, is to go into the creases with a dark color first, the uniform base color over the highlighted areas and the mid areas, and then go over with a lighter toned down color, a little bit of added to the color to lighten up, to just go over the top of the highlighted areas, so the very raised areas, and then a very thin wash of the base color over top of that as well. And it should all hopefully tie in together and look reasonable. Like I say, when you do it, when you're looking at it up close all the time, it looks a bit weird, and it's a confidence thing. Keep going with it. Keep trying. You're all good. So there you go. That's that. So a quick shoot over to the comments. Steve there, Scaly Models, says, I don't think it's the sort of thing that would be good with the current social distancing rules. It just won't be the same. It's not just a model show, it's a social event, and that's absolutely right. And that is, to be honest, that's the biggest worry for the event organizers as well, is they want to see everybody, they want to put the show on, but they don't want people to put themselves at risk. So they are bearing that in mind. IPMS won't make a decision, I don't think, until the end of August whether something's going to happen or not, but they are confident that they want to put something on. So watch that space. Kevin Stevens says, I like the idea of at least we could see some class work. Yeah, a virtual show, that would be too. Steve's just saying virtual show would be okay, but we'll only see things through the eye of the person taking the photos or film. We all look at models, etc., in different ways. Yeah, I think you're right, Steve. But whether it be a photograph or the real model, that's going to happen anyway. That's going to be the same thing. And I'll be totally honest with you, there are techniques where people apply to a model that some people love and some people hate. So as always with a model, it's in the eye of the beholder. Kevin Stevens says, I like your comment, Steve. Dexterous Crafter said, we booked 2 days after last year's event, Jacqueline, and it was impossible to book in around the venue. Luckily, we found a nice to book in. Yeah, like I say, if you are going to one of these big events, unless you're super quick off the mark to get a book in, like for example the hotel that's right opposite the venue, if you haven't done it in the first couple of days after the event, forget it. And they are pricey. The Telford Hotel is what it is. You pay for the venue, but yeah, go a little bit outside of it. 10-15 minutes away by car is sufficient. It gets you away, and it brings the price down a little bit and the availability too. So bear that in mind. Steve saying thanks, and I'm Steve to either a frozen or not frozen. Can't make my mind up. There we go. Thanks, Kevin. Lewis just saying, I find it very surreal at times as I'm away all week in the truck and at depots, etc. We don't need to wear face masks, etc. You do see the odd poster, but then when I come home, it's a very different life. Yeah, masks are going to be more and more of a factor, I'm afraid. We're all going to have to get used to it. So Thomas Charles saying there, thanks for today. Kevin Stevens saying, thanks, James, for the hints and tips today. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Malcolm's just popped in. Hi, Malcolm. Thomas Shell's just saying we can do posts where people put up 30-second videos for their builds and you can vote on the best air, maritime, science fiction, figure, surreal model. Then the winner gets a post of 2-minute show and tell that you go to the main show at the weekend. Yeah, so yeah, watch out. Basically, I think you'll find there may be something in the pipeline, and hopefully we can get together in the shows real soon. But person to person, I think it's going to be till next year. Anyway, with that said, I hope today's been useful for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we're going to do faces. What could go wrong? Until then, bye. I don't know what happened there. It's all gone wrong.